Hello and welcome to Barbara's Podcast. This is the show for women, all about health, nutrition, and wellness. It's the show that will empower you and inspire you to create a healthier lifestyle.
Hello and welcome to the show where we explore the world of holistic health and wellness. Today I'm excited to introduce Jules Francis, who is a holistic health coach. Welcome, Jules.
Thank you very much for having me.
So, Jules, you're a well-known health and wellness expert who first drew you to Forró, and how did it become such a meaningful part of your life and work? Oh, and please do explain what Forró is.
Well, I've been dancing for probably about 20 years. So Forró, I've been dancing about 10. Yes. And before that, I was dancing tango. And before that, I was dancing salsa. So a friend of mine from Brazil said to me, you have to stop dancing tango and start dancing Forró, because she's Brazilian and she thought that Forró was a more suitable dance for my personality. And she was absolutely right, because it's straight away I went there with her and I just had so much fun. It's very, very joyful, very uplifting music. It just feels amazing when you're dancing with music that kind of fills your soul and just is very uplifting. And so I stopped tango straight away and started that. And then in the last year and a half, I've taken over the community in Brighton where I live with my Brazilian partner, who I met dancing Forró. And we now run the community called Forró by the Sea. And we had our first festival this year, and we run classes and courses, and we put on events with musicians and DJs, and it's going super well.
Well, it sounds brilliant.
Yeah.
What makes this dance different compared to other partner dances?
So it's Forró translates as for all, which essentially means that not only is it suitable for all in terms of ages, backgrounds, dance ability, but it brings a real sense of joy and connection for people. So it's really, it's different in that it's not about just meeting someone to dance. You know, a lot of people go dancing to meet someone, which is typically what happens, actually. But Forró is way more than that. You know, the connections made between friendships, between a community, they're very, very strong. And the community that we've built up is really strong, and people go off to festivals all together, and people go off to different events all together, and we all met through dance, and it's a really powerful connection. And the music, like I say, it is just very uplifting, whereas salsa and samba and even tango, they can be quite repetitive, quite similar. Forró is very varied, so it suits all kind of moods, which is why I love it as well.
Well, it sounds like a brilliant way to help someone reduce their stress, anxiety, and even ease their loneliness, you know, if you're surrounded by people. And have you witnessed any of these transformations in people?
Massively. I mean, so many people that come to our classes, they've said we rely on this for our mental health. You know, I've got a couple of people that come to mind straight away who live on their own, don't have a big social crowd, and they rely on coming to Forró for physical connection, for, you know, mental stimulation, for fun, social connection. It's really, really, really healthy, which is why I personally love it, because I advocate you know, physical and mental well-being in my work life. So for me to have it as a hobby and then do this on the side, it kind of speaks to a lot of what I believe is important for people. And dance is an amazing form of exercise that doesn't feel like exercise. So I always love the fact that, you know, I don't feel like I personally need to go to a gym and work out, because I dance so much that it feels like I'm plenty of exercise.
It sounds amazing. I wish you were closer here in Cyprus, you know. I think it's a great way to exercise without it feeling like you're exercise. Like that should, people say, oh, I should go to the gym, or I should just put my running shoes on and just go for a run. It
Yeah.
just sounds like a very much fun and enjoyable way of exercising. And
Exactly, because you're exercising all parts of your body, and obviously you can go feeling quite. You could go feeling quite quiet or low, or you've had a stressful day, and by the time you finish, you go home feeling like you've exercised your mind as well, and you just let go of whatever stresses there are in the day, or you've let go of anything physically that's been holding tightly. It's a real amazing release of all sorts of things. So yeah, it's very beneficial.
do you combine it with any of your health coaching, in a sense, to kind of put it together, or is it two separate things?
I see it as two separate things, although it isn't. I don't combine them because I don't have the time for her to think about, coaching. It's very focused on the dancing, but within my coaching world, I often would prescribe dancing to my clients and say for those that need to move their body, or for those that need to feel better or whatever. I would always say dancing is a great form of all of the of exercise, mental health benefits, etc. However, not necessarily for anything. In fact, a couple of my clients who I no longer work with have showed up in my community, and is always a little strange. But once when we're not working together anymore, and they show up, I'm very happy for them that they've taken up dancing. Yeah. And it just reaches a very, very wide audience of, like I say, aging from sort of I would say the youngest person we have is about 20, and the oldest is about 80.
Oh, wow.
And when they're dancing together, it is like no difference at all. They're just both enjoying the music, the atmosphere, each other. It's lovely.
Well, for our listeners who are curious but may feel a little bit nervous about trying Forró, what advice would you give them for taking their first steps?
Advice would be that everyone takes their first steps at some point. Everyone who's never danced before at one time had never danced before. So you have to start new things somewhere. And it's not about the steps. Dancing Forró is about the connections, the friendships, the connections, the joy. The steps are incidental. So not to get caught up about, I don't know the steps, or I haven't got any rhythm. That doesn't really matter at all. It's about going to have fun. And if you stop yourself having fun, you're stopping yourself from truly enjoying life. So my advice would be, don't worry about the steps. The steps come eventually. The important thing is have fun and enjoy the amazing music and benefits that it gives you when you dance.
And I suppose the process of learning as well. You're not going to learn it from one day to the other. So
Exactly, it takes time, and people that pick up Forró easily have had a background in something else. So when I went to Forró, having danced salsa and tango, it didn't take long to understand the steps, but I'm still learning. 10 years on, there's still moves that I don't know, there's still techniques I can improve on, and I think that that's also a positive thing, is to think that you never know everything. However long you've been dancing, there's always more to learn. So whatever level you're at, you're far behind the next person because everyone's still learning.
you're going to make me Google it now and go onto YouTube and watch some of the dances.
Oh, you should. Oh, there's some incredible
Never
dances.
heard of it before. So
Yeah. Oh, I mean, some of the dances are just unbelievable to watch, Yeah.
So let's say if someone did join, how many months would it take until they actually did manage to get a few moves going, or
It very much depends on a number of things. One is whether they practice in between lessons, because if you do an hour's lesson and then you don't do anything until the next week, not even listen to a piece of music, it's going to take you longer.
Yeah.
But if you go to a lesson, you learn the basics, you then listen to some Forró in your free time, and you have, if you're cooking and you've got Forró in the background. I used to cook and and dance to just do the basic step. So the basic step is what you need to get into your muscle memory as quickly as possible, because that is the basic of every step. And those that rush to learn all these kind of arms and other things, and they haven't got the basic step, you can tell that they haven't actually got it in their muscle memory. They're just still trying to get hundreds of moves. So it takes longer if you don't practice. But typically, people who are really good, they'll practice a few times a week. They'll get their friends over and practice. They'll go to lessons at least twice a week, and a social party once as well to practice. It's all about that, and it's about understanding the music and the rhythm, because in Forró there's like 4 different types of rhythm. So it's about really understanding how to dance to each style. And so when a particular rhythm comes on, you kind of know, okay, this is a slow one. Oh, this is an uplifting one. These are the moves. Exactly. Yeah. And it's not choreographed. There's a leader and a follower. So the follower typically, which is what I am, would not have any idea what the dance is going to be until the leader starts. And so it's not about learning a sequence or a routine. It's about really embodying yourself and just going with the flow of the music and the partner. And you don't quite know what the steps are.
And can you swap between a follower and a leader?
Yeah. So I've been learning to lead for the past year, and so now I lead followers. And it's really interesting reverse, because it's basically the opposite of everything you learn, but I'm not very good at doing opposites. So my head is like completely confused, but it's important, I think, when you get to a good level of following to try leading, because then you keep learning different things. You can dance with more people, because now I get to dance with all the followers that I've never really engaged with as a follower myself. It's fun.
It does sound like a lot of fun. So, well, in closing, where can our listeners get in touch with you if they want to join a class or?
So we have a website called forrobythesea.co.uk, which is FORRO by the sea.co.uk, and we're on Instagram, which is at Forró Brighton, and we have a YouTube channel, and we have courses that are continuing, but we've got new courses starting in October for complete beginners, and we've got weekly lessons which are drop in. So anyone that just wants to give it a go, we do those on a Monday. And currently we're based in Brighton. We have a festival coming up next July 2026, which will be our second festival. And all details of that will be on the website. So we had a lot of people from Europe. And in fact, a lady from Canada came to our first festival this year. She had an amazing time. So for her, it was a long trip to make for a first festival, but she thought it was fantastic. And so that's also a really great way to really immerse yourself, is go to an intensive festival and learn from the basics and see some amazing dances.
Well, that sounds brilliant. I might try and come to the festival then.
Yeah, do that. July next year.
July next year. Book it in.
Book it in. Exactly. Yeah. I think it's the 9, 10, 11 and 12.
Okay. Well, I'll add in your contact details in the show notes, so not to worry.
Perfect. Perfect.
Well, thank you very much for coming, for sharing your expertise and insights with us today. It was really a pleasure to have you on the show, and I'm sure our audience will definitely either look out for your Forró classes or somewhere in the world.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you for having me too.
Okay, my pleasure.
Take care.
Take care.
Thanks for listening to Barbara's podcast. Don't forget to sign up for our newsletter or e-courses. Celebrate life, and see you at the next episode.